Wow, hi. Hello, Vail. How are we?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I like that energy. Or lack thereof. I think I said that every time. You're allowed to not have energy because you're pregnant, but everybody else, you drank too much or you're old and wealthy. And pregnancy's pretty awful. Not on the guys. On the guys, it's pretty easy. You have an orgasm, you run errands for 9 months, everybody calls you a hero. For women, it's awful, though. They don't show you either, though, right? You are a beautiful pregnant woman. You are making this look, you lucked out. My wife looked like Hagar the Horrible by this time. But it's awful. And they always show you a woman, right? They always show you her, she's in a field of wheat. She's just swaying in linens, and she's like, I love being pregnant. And that is not what it's like. My wife was pregnant. I was like, how you doing, babe? She's like, I tried to take a shit, and my pussy fell off. I was like, okay. What should I do? She's like, get it out of the toilet, clean it off. We're gonna need that later. Pregnant women get horny, and they get hornier as the pregnancy goes on. I'm not speaking for you, but this was my case. My wife would be like 8 months pregnant. She'd walk into the room. She'd be like, you wanna mess around? I'd be like, no, not at all. She's like, why not? I was like, because the baby just waved at me. What's wrong with you? You're shaped like Frosty the Snowman. And the baby's giving me a thumbs up right now. I'm not doing that. Here's what I didn't like about pregnant sex. There was already somebody in there. That was kind of my big issue. Every time we had sex, it felt like I was opening the door to a public restroom that somebody forgot to lock. We got a C-section. That's what we got. Are you gonna push it out? You hope so. Do you guys? Where are you guys doing it? Denver. Do you guys live up here? No, you're just up here for the weekend. Is this a baby moon?
Anniversary.
Anniversary. That's sweet. Do you guys? Is this your first?
Yes.
That's first anniversary and first baby. Okay. That's cool. All right. And you guys live in Denver.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we opted for a C-section. My wife, I wanted to save her sweet, sweet puss, but I'm kidding. She said she wanted to date again. And C-section's crazy. I don't know if you guys know this about the C-section, but I was in there with them. I think everybody kind of like glazes over this. It's very bizarre. It's a extremely large surgery. It's an abdominal surgery. There's doctors, nurses, patient. Professional comedian Andy Haynes is also in attendance for some reason. No other surgery works like that. Your friend's not getting his appendix out, and he's like, hey, you want to come out, hang out next to my head? That's all I did. I hung out next to her head. I rooted her on. She had like a sheet right here. I kind of wish the boobs were out. It would have been funner, but it was above her boobs. And then I just rooted her on. That's all I did. I just was like, you're doing great. She wasn't doing anything, to be honest. But you got to be positive, right? You can't be negative. You can't be like, hey, you're really pale right now, all right? Keep it together. You're freaking everybody out. Anyways, we got a beautiful baby girl, super healthy, love her to death. Well, then I'm going to reset this really quick. Okay, good. The Knicks won. Sorry, I had to check that real quick. Anybody a Knicks fan? I'm not either. Never mind. They did.
All right.
They came back from 20 down, so pretty. Did you have money on it?
Yeah. Pacers.
You had money on the Pacers? I'm sorry, dude. You've been very nice to me all weekend. I feel like I owe you a drink. You came and said hi to me at brunch. Brunch? Breakfast? Whatever it was. Anyways, it's weird to do this where you just see everybody. Like, I never do shows where I just see everybody all day long. It's very bizarre. I do a show, I say awful things about myself and my family, and then I just see you guys all around town all day long. Some of you guys even talk to me. You're like, hey, I like that bit about your wife being a bitch. I'm like, That's not what it was. No. It's weird to be a dad. I'm not very manly. I've talked about this on other shows. Never been very manly. I'm glad I'm not manly. That's how most men die, is being manly, trying to be men. You know, their chest will hurt. They'll be like, I'm a man. You'll be like, go to the doctor. And they're like, I'm not gay. And then they die, and you're like, why didn't you go? And they're like, told you, I'm not queer, you know. Now you got a halo and wings, pretty gay outfit. No, I think that's how most men died, though. It is. Think about how many men have died because another man was like, do it, pussy. It's like millions of men have died that way. Every man in here has been standing on top of a cliff. You're like, I think I see rocks, and somebody was like, don't be a bitch, and you're just like, I can't be a bitch, and you jump anyways. That's the one thing that women don't have. Women, you don't have that. You don't have, like, nobody's ever like, jump off this bridge, Tracy, or you're not a real bitch. Like, you know? You have all the other stuff. Masculinity is very back. It's very back in vogue. I get a lot of ads, like targeted ads on social media for masculine stuff. It's very weird because it's not masculine products. It's just done very masculine. Like, it's almost like they're like gay bashing me with an ad. They're like, do you have a flashlight that can light up an entire field, pussy? You're like, no. Do your pants have secret pockets, bitch? My favorite one is this stuff called hostage tape, and I'm sure there's some users in this room. But if you don't know what it is, it's tape you put over your mouth at night because apparently it's gay to sleep with your mouth open. That's not me. That's what the ad was saying. The ad was like, if you sleep with your mouth open, somebody's going to put a dick in there. And I bought a couple rolls. I don't want that, you know? All right, I'll tell a misogynistic joke now to even the score. One of my favorite things about my wife being pregnant was she did not get her period. That was pretty nice. I'm not afraid of period blood. That's not why I didn't like it. Bathe me in the blood. I could give a shit. I have a mean wife. My wife is very mean. She starts baseline mean. And then once a month for a week, she gets meaner. That's once a month, every month. That's a quarter of the month, which if you add those all up is also a quarter of the year, which is what we call a season. That's also what we call that. My wife is mean to me collectively for one season annually. I wish it was just one season. That would be a lot nicer. If, you know, I would just send her away on a boat and I'd wave from the shore. I'd say, have fun on Bitch Island. I love you. Please come back when you're nice. I think that's why you guys make less money. And it's like a quarter less. It is like a quarter less. I think the companies are like, we're not going to pay for the mean days, all right? Take a Midol and smile, Janine. Productivity is down. I'm kidding. I don't mean that. I think it should be 50%. And no, I don't believe in that joke. I do think it's women. You got such a harder plight in life, not only because society is kind of against you, or very much. I don't know. It's getting better. But also your bodies are against you. Like when you go through puberty, all of a sudden you can't run anymore. And I'll explain. I got a UTI a couple years ago. And if you guys don't know what women get UTIs, it depends on, it's like how bad of a person they are. And but I got one because I'm an ally and a feminist, and it just made me realize, guys, we don't have a relationship with our dicks like that. Our dicks either work or we go to the hospital. That's it. I feel like women, you have I feel like they hurt a lot. The pH balance of them, like a swimming pool. You have apps that'll tell you when you're going to go through your next. I think there's Bluetooth down there now. You can also fix the problem a lot of times by yourself. You put together like a cranberry cocktail, you drink it, you're like, we're good to go, you know? Guys don't have that. Like if my dick starts hurting, I can't like sit in a bowl of apple cider vinegar. My dad taught me this, so. Yeah. So there's that. Anybody from very far out of town? Anybody? New York? Cool. Not a Knicks fan though. Okay. Anybody from another country? They could be. Maybe they're scared. It's not a good time to be saying you're from another country. Somebody could be like, I'm from Costa Rica, Lauren Boebert, right through the door. Hitting a vape, cum on her sweater. Sorry, I didn't mean to get political, but I will get much more political by the time the set is over. No, I'll stop talking about it. I do feel bad for the Tesla owners. I do, because it's just like you bought a car and then the guy who made it ended up being a douchebag. He didn't even make it, he just owns the company. If you're judgmental of Tesla owners, I think you need to take a bigger picture of history. Because I have some news for you. This guy, Henry Ford, had some very bad ideas. I haven't seen anybody painting Fords lately, mainly because you'd get your ass kicked, but I have some worse news. If you drive a Volkswagen, that company got started by Hitler, so maybe stop judging the Tesla owners. Yeah, I need to finish that joke. How are you doing, sir?
Good.
What's your hat?
Forest.
Forest?
Electric Forest.
What's that?
It's a music festival.
It's like EDM?
Yep.
Nice. What do you do? Drugs? What kind of drugs? You have mushrooms all over your shirt, so that would be one indication of a drug you do. Do you like mushrooms?
Sure.
Yeah? How many times a year do you do mushrooms?
A few.
A few. Okay, that's a pretty nebulous answer. And, like, are you microdosing right now?
Not right now.
Not right now. Tomorrow.
We'll see.
I used to do. I'm sober now because I've been arrested 6 times, and but I used to do mushrooms. I liked them a lot. They were actually my favorite drug because they were the only drug you can't abuse. Because like the second you're done doing mushrooms, you're like, I am not trying to do any more mushrooms. Thank God we made it back from that one, brain. What's your favorite drug?
Pot.
Pot? That's a good one.
Yeah.
Pot's a good one. Pot's hard though, because I got sober from alcohol. Like I said, I've been arrested 6 times, and then I got sober from weed because I did just like way too much of it, and nobody will ever tell you, especially in Colorado, that you have a weed problem. Nobody's ever like, dude, you got to stop being so chill, you know? But yeah, I quit smoking weed. Weed's a fun one though. How often do you smoke? Every day?
Yeah.
Nice. Morning. First thing in the morning?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Wake and bake?
Oh yeah.
What do you do for a job?
I'm a software engineer.
You're a software engineer? That seems like a good wake up and smoke weed job.
Of course.
Do you work for a big company?
Yeah.
Do you ever like get all the coding done and then they're like, hey, this is just a fish logo where our logo's supposed to be? Have you ever done that? Has your company's program ever started with the Santeria guitar riff?
You should.
You should. When you quit, do that and cite me, please.